when Joe stepped down, did you want it to be an open convention as opposed to going right to Kamala?
Well, here's the plan. Kamala, it was open. Anybody could have gotten in. She wrapped it up. You have to give her credit for that.
I do, totally.
Yeah,
And the
give her
Democratic Party, you know what? That's the smartest thing they did. Because they just had a big internal fight. They couldn't afford another one. They would have looked like we always think, oh, they're disorganized, and they just got their you-know-what together.
Yes, Kamala Harris' first interview is being mocked on social media like never before. I never expected that it will even be to this level. A lot of people have put out videos pertaining to it. It is important we take an exclusive look into what actually happened. When you take a look at this first guy, he is hilarious. He did a good job in analyzing what actually went on. I didn't watch that all.
Well, my friends, Kamala's first interview was an utter calamity. It was also incredibly boring. I would have rather gotten a colonoscopy, but I do it for you guys. I'm a martyr. I do it for you. Now, let me start off by saying the bar is so low, it's in the 7th ring of hell. I wasn't expecting much from Kamala Harris, but I was expecting a little bit better. She's had 40 days to prepare. Kamala Harris answered those questions like she'd just been pulled over by Highway Patrol and was asked to take a breathalyzer and walk in a straight line. Like, ma'am, could you step out of the car? And she's like, my values haven't changed because they're my values. I'm gonna start calling Kamala Anna Nicole Harris. The way she was talking, it was like, I've been very clear. I love fracking. I've been clear since 2020 that I stand by fracking, Dana. Kamala Harris had 40 days to prepare and she did not give one clear, cogent, substantive answer the entire time. One thing I found incredibly ridiculous is asking Kamala Harris what she wants to do on day one. What do you want to do when you get into office? She's been vice president for almost 4 years. I also felt like Dana, whatever, was leading the witness. She was like, Kamala, did you do this because of A, B, or C? This is not the SAT multiple choice section. She's running for president of the United States. Ask her a question and let her answer. Now, Kamala Harris, she's supposed to have the best people around her with all these years of political experience, but let me tell you one mistake they made. Their biggest mistake is that they waited 40 days to do a sit-down interview. Had she been doing regular interviews, the stakes wouldn't have been that high. It wouldn't have been such a big deal. She would have developed a rapport and a cadence with all of these journalists, but instead, we're all watching now with a fine-tooth comb. Now let's talk about Mr. Jazz Hands Tim Walz. He was there next to Kamala Harris the entire time, but he did not do much better. When he was asked if he lied about IVF or his military record, he said, well, you know, my wife says I don't have the best grammar sometimes. Sir, telling bold-faced lies and then saying, well, I could have had better grammar is the most ridiculous cop-out thing I've ever heard. You clowns had 40 days to prepare, and this is the best product you could come up with. Now, my most important question about the entire interview is this. Why are you guys sitting around a dark, dingy diner slumped over tables? Why don't you look presidential at all? Why are you not sitting down doing an official interview? Kamala, you're hunched over like this, waiting for a shot in home.
Yes, I was more interested in looking at the fact check. CNN did something which I've not seen before. CNN fact checked Kamala after she claimed she changed her position on fracking in 2020. During Kamala's interview, she claimed she became a fan of Baby Dre in 2020. After the interview, CNN Dana said he looked back at the 2020 debate transcript and could not find what Harris was talking about. I went over the transcript of that debate. Nowhere in there does she make clear that she had abandoned her previous support for a fracking ban. I certainly did not hear anywhere in that Kamala interview saying that she personally had abandoned her previously expressed 2019 views. That was a good fact check. I was impressed that they had to call her out immediately. Though they usually give her the pass, it was a softball interview. We all know.
I just don't think that Kamala Harris has anything vested in the air finger quote black or Hispanic experience in so much as it would be identified by anybody that lives in those communities.
You're saying you don't think that she can help black or brown people?
No, I mean, going to Howard don't make you black.
Funny. She went further to blame Trump to what is going on in America for about 10 years, forgetting Trump was not president at a certain period like that. Like this guy stated here, that was 10 years ago. Obama was there. So do you even understand what exactly you are talking about? It raised a lot of questions on social media.
I was sort of watching this, holistically, what is she saying? What does she look like? What's on the screen? So at the beginning, when she's talking about Biden and their record, our screen said, this is called the Chiron, the headline at the bottom. It said, Harris stands by Biden administration economic record. She is making it clear that she will embrace and be a continuation of Biden's economic policy, his record, what they've done. She offered no remorse, no regrets, no introspection about anything they've done. She continued to blame inflation on this fantasy price gouging idea. She had no additional thoughts on the economic situation in the country or what they've done beyond just saying, Joe Biden and I have done a great job. Now, if I were the Trump people, I would be salivating over the idea that that's how they are going to run the race. I don't believe it's tenable. I also thought it was interesting that she didn't take any responsibility at the end for telling the American people that Joe Biden was fine and he was strong. I mean, we all know that's not true. That's why he's out of the race, and she's still standing by the idea that he was fine and he's strong and that he's fine today. Nobody believes that, and I just think at some point, then why isn't he running?
Because he's too old.
Exactly why Kamala decided to have this interview on CNN with Dana. She knew Dana will not ask that questions. So we've been expecting no difficult questions, just normal discussions. Asking, will you pick up a Republican to save in your ministry? Look at the kind of questions. When I saw that, I had to what is this? If it was Trump, they would look for the most difficult questions, to psychologically defeat him. That is what they do. But when it's her, they go. And I'm glad people are saying this. When you take a look at the reactions on social media, it clearly shows a different scenario between her and Trump, and they cannot be deceived. She tried to pretend here. Imagine going for an interview, you take up your vice president to follow you all through. It is crazy, right?
Neither party's official platform, in my opinion, is good for Palestine.
I'm not suing MSNBC. But this is what MSNBC did. They took a clip of me talking about Tulsi Gabbard, and they edited it up and made it look like I was saying great things about Kamala Harris. Wait, what? Yeah.
You might be wondering what Joe Rogan is saying here. That is how the mainstream media operate. They did that and it went viral on social media. A lot of people thought Joe Rogan is suing them. He changed his mind. I'm not suing them. Though I actually expected it.
There you go. You wouldn't know that if you read the Democratic platform because it repeatedly refers to President Biden's second term. There are roughly 19 or 20 mentions of President Biden's second term. They've had a month and a day to update it. Why haven't they?
Yeah, there won't be one of those, Biden's second term. We know that. And, listen, the platform was largely the draft of it put in place and voted on earlier this summer. And I think in talking to some folks, the idea of reopening the platform to try to fit in not yet fully developed Kamala Harris policies while they were quickly changing, they thought they would be opening a can of...
Not fully developed. Try to reason this out. It therefore means she was not prepared to be president. Even so, by now, her policy stand should be there. Or she want to release that after the elections. That is a question that puzzled through me when I saw this video coming from CNN.
It's a terribly divided country.
I will never criticize them.
Policy of Kamala's.
And if the pace plays...
leaving...
A speech from Michelle Obama that I have to say is one of the best.
Gun-toting...
Damn, Kamala.
Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips.
For some people, it's already started.
But when you disrespect Kamala Harris...
They say and they disappear.
The money in politics is so extraordinary, which is something that should have never been allowed to happen.
Much more happens at the DNC.